Over 2.5 million adults in Nigeria live with different forms of visual impairments. This population can actually be optimized if the proper technological tools are introduced to them early enough to be able to be productive. Welcome to Disability Awareness and Development Initiative. Through our Access Tech program, we run a rehabilitation that is centered on assistive technological tools that enhances the productivity of blind persons within the space of 3 months. Here at Access Tech, our curriculum is centered on the individual goals, and we work with families and eye care professionals to achieve the goals of optimizing the abilities of our clients. At Access Tech, we don't believe that a person who loses his sight should go redundant. We believe that the person who loses his sight can bridge the barrier using necessary assistive technology. That's why our clients have this to say about us.
Hi, my name is Gladys Ibrahim. I am one of the clients Access Tech had. So I was a client before, but now I've graduated from my program and thanks to Access Tech. So I was referred to by an optometrist, Dr. Akiola, who referred me to the director of this program. And trust me, so far I learned a lot. It was quite stressful, but trust me, it was impactful. I learned everything I was supposed to know in just 3 months. Before, I was almost giving up, and thanks I met them, and now I'm lifted and moving on, even with a YouTube channel and moving, and thanks to Access Tech, because without them and the technology, everything would not be moving fine. And I'm encouraging other clients, trust me, move on and you'll be fine.
Our co-founder, Opelo Akiola, lost his sight as a child and went through primary, secondary to university. Graduated with a 2.1 from the University of Lagos after studying history. He sought for jobs from several institutions, but he lost a lot of the opportunities because the organization didn't even know how to maximize his potential. They asked him, how can you work with us? What technological tools can you work with to enhance your productivity? But he had no answer then in the 90s. But right now he has answers to them. That is why he is very poised with the mission to ensure that no blind person loses an opportunity because of any visual impairment. So that's why our curriculum is centered on the individual goal of the client. This same vision that he is caught to ensure that blind persons live their best life irrespective of the visual impairment is what is pushing us in Access Tech. And that is why we have designed a curriculum that speaks to the need of not just the visually impaired person, but that also help the visually impaired person to also contribute meaningfully to the society. We don't waste our clients' time. Everything we do is centered on increasing the productivity of the person, and we use up-to-date technological tools, from the use of the guide cane to the use of refreshable braille display devices and to other assistive technology tools, to the use of the computer, to ensure that the visually impaired person is productive. We are employing up-to-date technological device in order to improve the standard of living of our visually impaired clients and also enable them to contribute meaningfully to the society.
I am Odia Daniel Ogochukwu. I am an optometrist, primary eye care provider, and in my line of work, what I majorly do is to try as much as possible to make sure that the vision of my patients, the way you see, is optimal, is at its best state possible. I like to make sure that everybody who comes into my clinic comes out with best results, comes out with all the efficiency possible, especially with regards to what they do. But sometimes we come to a point where we have to give bad news. Sometimes we have to tell a patient that you can't actually see, you can't actually perform those jobs which you want to do. You can't maybe be the pilot you want to be or do that job which you want to do. Sometimes we have to also break the news to people who are already in profession, who are seemingly losing vision, or who won't have the chance to just see things again. So at this point, we have to offer these patients a better life or an alternate life. So what do we do, or what doors can we open for them? So we open for them good doors for rehabilitation. That's why we're working with Access Tech. What we do here, or what happens here, is we send patients here, or we tell our patients to come in here for good rehabilitation, to get to know how to use devices that can help them to retain their productivity, to retain their performance at work. Sometimes we might have to switch in such a way that they do not have to change careers. For instance, a banker could still remain in banker. A person who does maybe a clerk, a receptionist, can still retain all the office skills and perform in the same way he or she was before he lost vision. So we are going to make sure that people do not lose the quality of life, they keep or retain their earning potential, and as such, life just goes on after blindness. Nothing changes, nothing gets ruined. All relationships stay the same way. Thank you.
I'm Daniel Isaiah, a speaker of Access Tech. So at Access Tech, we train visually impaired persons, those who happens to lose their sight, in one way or the other. And we try our best to equip them with the best facilities we could, like the computer system, and the mobile phones, and other devices. So one of our curriculum in computer system is to train the visually impaired person on how to basically operate the computer laptop as a blind person. So with the help of the screen reader, which is called JAWS, that is JAWS, Job Access with Speech, the blind person is able to interact with his or her screen reader, with the computer, and by that, he or she can carry out any tasks, others do equally. Then for the mobile phone aspect, I train clients on how to make use of their phones, either Android or iPhones or Windows phones. So they can give a call out, calling themselves, receive calls, go on the media platform, chat with friends and families, and at the same time, also take them on other advanced usage of the mobile phone.
My name is Dr. Osagi Ofunwebe. I'm an optometrist and I practice at the Military Hospital, Ikoyi. During my practice, my short practice as an optometrist, I've discovered that there are some patients with fatal eye conditions. There are some patients that are going to go blind no matter what you do. You can give them the best of care, you can refer them to the best consultants. Inevitably, they are going to go blind. Now, me as a clinician, I took an oath to make sure that I do what's best for my patient. The most reasonable thing for me to do is to refer the patient to a rehabilitative professional. Now, there are many rehab schools, there are very many rehab schools, but most of the rehab schools, they do not give the patient skills that are relevant to modern life. Now, studies have shown that the average person touches his smartphone over 100 times in an hour. Our smartphone is very essential. It's our alarm clock, it's our stopwatch, it does everything, it keeps us connected to the world, we process information. The average youth or the average person now uses the system. We are living in a technological world. Now, any visual rehabilitation program that does not incorporate latest technology will not optimize the quality of life of any visually impaired person. Now, I've gone to so many schools, I've been involved in outreaches with many, I'm not going to call names, with many rehabilitative schools. So many of them, their curriculum is, I would say, from the 60s. They've not updated, they've not actually gotten the hang of using technology in rehabilitation. Now, one thing I like so much with this organization is that they have a proven method of using technology, of teaching visually impaired people how to use technologies. So that, now, just imagine this now. Someone is a banker or is a stockbroker now, he goes blind. Then they refer the person now, after the consultant is done with everything he can do, he refers the person to any of the traditional visual rehabilitation schools now. So those schools now, they might, teach the person how to move, mobility, that's important. Then they teach the person Braille, the old type of Braille. Then I start teaching the person things like basket making and tie and dye. See, someone that is a stockbroker, no offense, you understand? What that man wants from visual rehabilitation is, how can I trade stocks? How can I use my phone? How can I use my computer to continue in the same work I was doing before I lost my sight? That's the simple thing he's doing. You understand? So I'm now discovered that majority of the visually impaired people I've seen here, they can do things that you and I can do with our phones. I chat with them on WhatsApp. They send me YouTube links. We share comments. And if I didn't even tell you, you will not even know that this person is actually visually impaired. I, Dr. Osagi, strongly recommend Access Tech Rehab for every visually impaired patient that still wants to remain productive.